Hello, welcome to another episode of Full Circle with me, Onyx. And today in this episode, the goal is to help you kind of like become unbrainwashed, to help you declutter your mind, set yourself free, which is probably the secret motive of all my videos, to come to the self realization of like who you are. uh, Know thyself, which was the whole goal of the Western mystery system, to know thyself. Um, and I would say now more than ever, we need to adopt some of that philosophy instead of looking out into the world. We need to look at ourselves, look inward, explore inward, uh, the inner universe. So there's so much brainwashing going on in the new age metaphysical world with channelers and stuff. And every popular channeler that seems to be bringing forth new information from a higher plane of consciousness, something more evolved, is only reframing, repackaging old information that I've already read in the Kabbalah, old information that I've already read in Western mystery tradition. And so anyone who can read can go to any old bookstore and grab books on the Kabbalah, on magic, and then put new words to it. You know, basically use occult or cult like knowledge to make a name for yourself. And if you've never heard of it, you're coming maybe from a different background, your mind's going to be blown. You're going to be like, "Whoa, the microdot." We'll just rename that as a singularity, and all possibilities are one through this singularity. It's all happening now in the fifth dimension. Creation is done. It's already happened. This dot moved in every direction so fast it stood still. Through those motions, all creation experienced everything, and therefore, because it's an infinite dot in infinite directions, expanding and contracting infinitely, it is the only still point in the universe, and everything else is a reflection down through the dimensions. And you're gonna be like, whoa, that's amazing. And the reality of that was the teaching of Kether, the first sphere in the tree of life, under mystery school type teachings. People go, oh, mystery school, mystery cool. It sounds so cool. The mystery school, where is it at? And there's a lot of people who created mystery schools for themselves. Some of them make lots of money, and some of them don't. You know, so is there even a real mystery school? Who knows? You know, and and really, the whole goal of this video is to help you stop thinking so much. Case after case, client after client, um, the real problem going on is people are thinking way too much. They want to take their brain into experiences that are greater than their understanding. They want to have a spiritual experience. They want to have a religious experience. They want to have a mystical, mythical, fantastic, mind altering experience. And then they want to take their brain in a suitcase and have it make sense. And they want to relate to it in the way that they relate to ordinary reality. On one level, you can't do that. If you're going to go out of your norm, you want to expand your mind, you're probably going to have to leave your brain behind. And that sounds scary. So people, maybe they've had a spiritual experience and then they come back and then they want to use their brain to dissect it, analyze it, make sense, assimilate it, and move forward, and call that evolution, we're really growing. My efforts are really doing something. And, you know, so I kind of want to debunk some stuff or give you permission to use your critical reasoning skills. Um, use discernment, use judgment, judge your experience, compare. So don't leave half your brain at home, you know, don't. So religious thinking, faith, belief, you, the problem will always be you, and we can take it off of you and say everyone. We can say the world. The problem is the world. It's humanity, and they need a prophet and a Messiah. And we're here to give you and deliver you a message for your salvation, to help you out, to recover from whatever it is. Oh, we really can't fix it. We don't know what we're talking about. Oh, yes, we do. We're an authority. So the problem must be you. Couldn't be God. Couldn't be, you know, man is wicked. The world is wicked. So maybe if you pray more, maybe if you work harder, maybe if you have more faith and belief and strive your whole life to your grave, you might understand. You might have a spiritual experience. You might be worthy. Uh, is there anything wrong with that? I'm going to say no, but let's really look at that with a little bit of logic. If you are the child of God or created from God, don't you think you have the potential to be God? Don't you think you have the potential, and your own natural nature is what God intended, therefore everything is good, and you don't need to work so hard? Therefore, relax. So I'm just like, we're throwing out some ideas that could be very triggering. And the whole goal is to help you recognize when gurus, new agers, are putting on a religious band-aid. When you go to a psychic, they're going to put on a band-aid, or give you a middleman, a go-between. I'm special. I talk to angels. I'm gifted. I had a near-death experience, so I'm worthy and you're not, to be in the power position and tell you what to do. So people don't want the Pope to tell them what to do. So they're going to go for the next best thing. Now this psychic with a spiritual degree in telling you what to do. And you sit down and you listen and you plan your life. Well, that sucks. So let's say we don't go there. So now we'll go to a different institution, a different system of thought. Are any of these systems and institutions bad? No, they're tools. And I believe, honestly, they've done the best they can. But you need to recognize what they are. You don't just pick one. And you don't just pick all of them, hoping that it's all going to work. If you accept every religion, every faith, coexist, all love, what you've selected was all the systems outside of you. And the only real issue is you forgot you. Isn't this your life? Aren't you the hero of your own story? If you're the hero and this is your life, do you really need other people to tell you what to do? Give your power away. I would say you're divinely already able to live out your life fully. Trust your brain. Trust your heart. So when you've been pre-programmed to discount your thinking, this made so much sense. Let me ask my bishop, my priest, my pastor, whatever it is. Oh, and now they're talking me out of the logic and the reason that felt good in my body, the way I understood life. And now they've talked me out of it. And they have this old book that's been plagiarized, manhandled, edited. And they're going to use that and say, the knowledge in this book is greater than me, who actually exists right here, right now. They know the reason why things don't, the reason why not everything is for you and why things don't make sense is because you're having your own personal experience from your own personal perspective. So you can't invalidate yourself. And this is, I think, the problem that goes on with mass agreement. You know, these large institutions, they go, this is the way, the only way, or you only have these two options, good and evil, right and wrong, healthy or unhealthy, diseased or not, a winner or a loser, a man or, see how binary it is, see how limiting it is. So I'm just asking you to go, yeah, that kind of is. So we've kind of bashed religion, but you know what? The reality is, I think of religion is just a puzzle piece. You know, it's like it's a sandcastle that we've collectively created, that represented something, you know, and whatever, wash it away. Let's look at another sandcastle that's been collectively created that we may falsely give our power to. Psychology. When most of those great minds of psychology were crazy. Wow. So we can look at religion, we can look at psychology and these founding fathers of these great institutions. And guess what? That was before the radio. That was before television. Could you imagine the limited amount of information and knowledge they had to actually be brilliant? So, when we really look into the lives of these great forefathers, we find massive problems. Some of them were completely prejudiced. Some of them were murderers. Some of them had psychotic parents and upbringing. Some of them, so, and could you imagine from their perspective what was true and sane for them in that time period may not apply to this time period where you are. It may not even apply to you. Like, so I was blown away when we look at some of these people who have been labeled saints and great thinkers, how messed up they actually were. Same with movie stars, you know? So in psychology, there are some fundamental problems. The whole idea that there is such thing as sane insanity, a functional human being, you know, and then, and even within that, the openness of the opposite. Well, we really can't judge what is sane or insane, functional or dysfunctional. So it's on a spectrum. So sometimes instead of being brave to make those hard calls, we just kind of, it gets, there's a huge gray area that is too gray and too shady. And so, but psychology on one level is a science. It's like we can use some type of scientific way to approach maybe mental health or behavioral health, or even brain health. And it's really only been recently that we've been able to scan a whole bunch of brains and see what's going on. So our mental health is still in its infantile stage. And yet, boast of being, once again, almost like a religion. We can fix you. Go to a counselor. You need to talk it out. You can somehow work out your life. And I'm here to say, no, you can't. Because there is nothing wrong with your life. It may have been fucked up. It may have been totally messed up. But it's gone. The only thing that really is here is you right now. So we all have baggage, we all have a history, and you all can learn to let that go. You can actually do that on your own. Or some people are natural at it. They go, well, that was really yesterday. And those people in my life that have harmed me, they're all going to the grave. So I don't need to hold on to this. So we look to Eastern religion as a beautiful example of the distilled wisdom of reality. Let go means detach. You stay over there, I'll stay over here is a nice magical way of saying detachment or love from afar. So I forgive you, you forgive me. And this whole forgiveness thing is another wonderful way to say, I'm going to detach, wishing you the best. I'm going to let go, wishing you the best. You don't owe me anything. So the only way to attach is to keep it alive in your mind, to keep the story going. So there goes a whole bunch of needless counseling, needless psychology. And is it bad? No. I've been there to psychology. That was like my favorite subject growing up. But what is going on in the New Age world, which is the whole point of my videos, is people will go to a psychic, to a guru, to a yoga instructor, to their massage therapist, to a energy healer. And what they don't realize is they expect this person to somehow be in some special knowing to play psychologist, to play priest. And so it's kind of out of the scope of practice to put all that on your therapist, your healer. Some people go, oh, I go to that massage therapist. They're my shaman, they're my psychic, they're my energy healer, plus they work on my body. I'm like, that's really cool. But it probably takes a lot of energy. But also, when will you pray for yourself? When will you do the inner work? When will you stop outsourcing the things that should be insourced? It's great to be inspired. It's great to have these things, yes. But we're talking about putting them back into balance. When will you be your own priest and have a spiritual connection with the divine? When will you prophesy your own positive future? When will you look in the mirror, look at your story, break it down, analyze it, let it go, and be your own psychologist? When will you ask yourself the questions that you're not willing to ask yourself? So basically a psychologist is a mirror, a really good, or I should say therapist. A really good therapist in the realm of mental health is a really good mirror to help you. They basically play your subconscious if they know what they're doing. And they will ask you the questions that you're unwilling to ask yourself. And on one level, they won't do the work. They will just reflect back the possibility, the questions, and they will listen. They will play listener when you're not listening, so they will draw out, and you will hear through your own mouth and experience through your own self the things that need to be heard as you speak them. So you think they're listening to you, but really you're listening. So it's the magic mirror, okay? So a good friend or yourself could play that part if you don't want to spend money. I would say the one negative drawback, once again, which seems to be universal through all of this, is none of these people are you. So on one level, the best source is you. So whether it's a guru, the fingers point back to you. Whether it's a therapist, the fingers point back to you. Whether it's someone religious, the fingers point back to you. And this is all about empowering you. It's not about diving deeper into religious studies to learn more about that out there. It's more to learn more about you. Know thyself. When you really want to know who you are, there is no technique for opening up your third eye. It will open. Are you curious? If you want to spiritually bypass this and you want to look at angels and auras and energy and other dimensions, that's outside of you. And so that curiosity level is more like, I call it in the fun zone, amusement park, escapist energy. I don't think that desire is going to be as productive as when you say, I want to know myself. I want to know how this world works. I want to know myself as the world. I want to know myself as the universe. Does the universe want to know itself as me? Does the world want to know itself as me? When you ask yourself, or that natural curiosity happens, your third eye opens, okay? And that part right there was channeled earlier, but really grounded out and presented in this moment for you. I'm nobody special. So the other problem, why be a shaman? Why be a new age therapist? Why be an energy worker? Why be a channeler? Why be a psychic, right? And I'm saying, are we going to put a psychological band-aid on the reason why we feel inspired to pursue a path? I'm going to say there is a rock in the road and you're going to trip on it. And it could be the healing therapist model. We're going to bring you into wholeness. It could be a religious model. It's another rock in the road that it might trip you up on. And so those are the two big ones. But the other one is actually the educated model, which goes into science and possibly technology. Like, we want to pursue these unknown things, but sometimes we feel we can't do it because it doesn't sound reasonable and logical. So it's not reasonable and logical that I go swimming today, unless I find a good reason. The temperature is in the 90s, and it's summer, and I have the day off, and I have a swimming suit, and by all my calculations, it's safe to jump in the pool. I have another really good reason. I need some cardio. I need some heart health. Exercise has been proven. I've read all this research on it. So I've now given myself permission to jump in the pool. By the time you get in the pool is full of all these other people who didn't have to go through some logical, reasonable gymnastics to give themselves permission to jump, to play, to explore, to get wet for no real reason. And I would say I'd fall victim to this one. I knew everything could be explained logically. There has to be a reason for all this paranormal activity, this mystical stuff. And that gave me the certificate of permission to go jump into the unknown and explore. Other people have different certificates of permission. Religion might be it, born and raised religious. and it's not working. So I'm going to be spiritual now. I'm going to roll up my sleeves and be spiritual. And so that might be the catalyst, the push. You know, it could be psychology. I believe everything is the mind. And I took some Zen courses and subconscious and consciousness and super consciousness and collective consciousness and archetypes. And so now I'm certified to go jump into the cosmic swimming pool and play with everybody else. Okay, so maybe that was your motive that started, but now it's a burden. So for some people, it's a rock that will trip them up on the road. For other people, it was the catalyst that pushed them into the swimming pool. But eventually, you might have to take off that life jacket of religion, because you might find yourself in a territory, in a realm where these religious beliefs, this model, this construct that once served as a ladder to see over into the unknown, is now limiting you because you're seeing a bigger mountain. You're seeing a new horizon. You're seeing the pool that you thought you were in is much bigger. It's a whole water park. When will you, so sometimes the things that pushed us into a positive direction now are not helping us anymore. And we have to know when to let that go. When to let go of a certain saint, a certain angel figure. I would just call them names. The big J word, the big G word are the ones I try to let go of. The big purpose, the big meaning, we're here to save people. We're here to heal people. I'm a healer. This is who I am. There's a point in your development where you go, I'd rather go have fun in the pool. I don't need to be playing lifeguard. I don't need to have a life jacket on. I'm ready to let go and be free of all labels, all descriptions, all motives. What? You're just going to go out there into the unknown waters? People drowned out there. You got to be serious. Or take your brother. And I'm saying, how about just give yourself permission to go explore? You don't need a reason. You don't need to be hoodwinked, deceived by other people whose motives could be very strange and nefarious. Some people just want money and power. Other people want recognition. Some people just love to be at the front of the classroom and just speak. It really feeds their ego. They just want the attention. Is that bad? No. But maybe there might be a course correction. Maybe you might be done with that experience or that person, that guru, that faith, that scientific model, that construct, that institutionalized prescription prescribed for you. Maybe you're done and it's time to move on. So this might just be the catalyst to give you the courage. I'm going to give you a huge permission slip to be the one. You are enough as you are right now, moving into deep self-acceptance. Because let's just say there is meaning and purpose in life, and maybe it was created by an all-loving force. Don't you think they would want you to step out of those classrooms and go out and play and give yourself permission to accept yourself just the way it is, all broken and all things in the process of maybe being fixed? Like, you don't have to be perfect. Kids go out when they're sick. Mom says, stay in the house, you got the flu, or you got a cold. And the kid goes, but I want to go out and play with my friends. And the mom goes, well, you need to stay in the house and get better. The kid goes outside, runs around, has exercises, gets better, feels great, exercise is a great cure for most sicknesses. Sometimes we need to do the opposite. Sometimes we need to, play. And there is no reason to play except to play. There's no reason to have fun except it's fun. So that's what I'm saying. So you don't have to be like some psychotic teacher hallucinating angels to open your mouth and speak your truth. So this is a message I would like to give one of my friends. She thinks she's not spiritually connected because she's not like her mentor, who has visions of alien symbols that none of them know what it means. And I'm like, well, you're not an alien, and those symbols don't mean anything. But to really give you the information on it, you may have the vision of the symbol because it's going through a visual part of your mind. The value in it, though, was once you've perceived it, it automatically transfers back into energy. You get the download, and it comes back as your own consciousness. So you don't need to understand the symbols because they all decrypt themselves naturally. All is energy, all is one. You're just getting glimpses that don't have as much value and weight. They're not certifications of someone's better than you. So your teacher is no greater than you because they can hallucinate visions better than you. You are source energy. You are divinely created. You are the one. If you really would honor yourself, if you would really appreciate and value yourself and know how awesome you are, you'd be like, I'm going to go sit down, be with myself, channel in the answers, not from out in the atmosphere, but just from right here. I am the source of contact. I am the miracle of life, and I'm going to feel myself. I'm going to watch my thoughts and feelings flow by but I'm experiencing me. I'm awareness. I'm going to experience my awareness. I'm going to experience my beingness and be solid in that. When I feel lost and confused, it means I've been looking out to everyone else's constructs, everyone else's truths, everyone else's experience. But there's only one person having my experience, and that's me. So maybe that's where my energy needs to be. That's where I need to be. I am the greatest thing. And you are